What's up, y'all? I am back with another book review, and today I will be discussing Front Street Porter by Nina. I found this book in Jaquel J's Facebook reading group, and what drew me to this book was the cover. The cover of Front Street is so simple. It's like beautiful. It was a beautiful cover to me. It wasn't a lot going on. It wasn't too much razzle dazzle. And it was also nostalgic a little bit for me because I grew up in a big city. So to see a street sign spray painted on was like actually funny to me. And that was probably one of the main reasons why I picked this book up and read it, was because of the cover. But that's neither here nor there. The plot of this story is, to me, in my best description, it is a coming-of-age tale of 5 brothers who have lost their only stable parent. The oldest brother had to guide his 4 younger brothers through everything that a parent would be there to provide guidance on: girls, medical issues, just everything. They had a lot of sibling arguments, and it was just, to me, I told somebody that it was like a love story for brothers, like how they, loved each other no matter what, and how they always were there for each other no matter what. But moving on to the characters, there are a lot of characters to discuss in this book. Being that it's pretty much 5 main characters. There's Lake. He's the older brother. Lake, to me, is a protector. He's dependable. He's the parent, and he feels like he can't be loved. Something happened to Lake in his childhood that hasn't been disclosed, so he feels like he's unlovable. The next character is Vaunt. Vaunt is emotional, but he hides behind a rich kid, I don't give a fuck kind of attitude. In my opinion, I think Vaunt missed his father the most, which caused him to clash with Lake the most, because he missed his daddy, and Lake was pretty much his daddy. Vaunt is also a little carefree. Wreck is the next character. Wreck is hard-headed. Wreck is carefree. Wreck also had the rich kid attitude, but I think Wreck was more so able to put in work when it was necessary without much pushback. My 2 favorite characters are Sav. Sav, he has the absolute most potential to be something great. He's smart. He's the most protective, in my opinion, of his brothers, and I think that's just because he's the baby. And then there's Sav is also a horny teenager, and it is hilarious to see. I think those were some of the most funniest moments in this book, with Sav and his horniness. Then there's Dim. Dim is the broken one, the one with the mental health issues, but at the same time, Dim is probably the strongest out of all 5 of them. I feel like Dim is the strongest because he has so much more weighing on him than the others, next to Lake. But what I noticed about Dim is patient. Dim is very much patient. He is. Like, Dim showed his colors during one situation in this book, and I was like, damn, he gonna be a force to be reckoned with when he get his health together. But what I will say about all 5 brothers as a whole, they have mommy issues, because their moms are in and out of their life, and it's only their moms don't show them conditional love that a mother is supposed to show. The next character I'm gonna talk about is Ivy. Ivy is independent. She's a protector. She's a parent to her little sister. She's fragile. She's been sexually abused for pretty much all of her life. Her mom ain't shit. And Ivy she has a lot of issues that she doesn't get addressed. And I think that had she got them addressed, they would have, like, a lot of stuff she went through, she'd been better for herself for. The next character is Avery. Avery is Ivy's younger sister. Avery is very much every bit of a young, carefree, spoiled brat. That's how I think of Avery. The next character is Daly. Daly is the best friend of Lake. Daly is dependable. Daly is loyal. Daly can be a loose cannon. And Daly don't miss when he take a shot at all. So the messages for this book were, for me, the biggest message for this book that was displayed in this book, that was talked about heavily in this book, was making sure your mental health is in check. As African Americans, we sometimes take mental health for granted, but it's a serious situation, because mental health and being mentally health aware is very important, because sometimes your mental health calls you to do things that you can't explain, you don't understand. Like, mental health issues can be debilitating. So I would urge anyone going through or who have had mental health issues to reach out. Like I said before, Dem had mental health issues where he would just black out and get angry, and it took a lot to calm him down. He didn't understand it. His brothers didn't understand it. They wanted to get him help. They just didn't know where to get him help, the right kind of help. So I really respect Nina for touching on mental health and showing that you can get help as an African American for mental health issues, and they don't run you. You run them. The next message that I received from this book is, it's okay to be loved. I think all of these boys struggled with not having the love of their parents present in the most important years of their life, and it showed in just how they interacted with each other, how they interacted with women. It showed. And number 3, and the last and final message is, sometimes all you need in your corner is your sibling. Like, for real. I come from a large sibling group, and I appreciate each and every one of my siblings for different reasons. But at the same time, it'd be days where I don't like them. So for me, watching the boys argue in this book was like funny, because some of the arguments that they had are arguments that me and my siblings have had. So I understood it on just a bigger level as a sibling. The things that I liked most about this book were each of the brothers had their own personality, and each of the brothers' personality showed, and it didn't really waver throughout the book. Like, who you met them as is who they were when you stop reading. Tearjerker, spoiler alert, at the end of this book, there was a video montage that their father had created when he was alive, and the boys kind of came into possession of that, and so them watching it really made me cry, because it was like sad at the same time. It was like good to see, and I think them having that video kind of brought them closer together at the end of the book. But my rating for French Street Porter by Nina is a 4.5. I gave this book a 4.5 because I felt like she left a lot of questions unanswered, and most of them center around the video montage and their father. Like, it wasn't discussed how their father was killed. It wasn't discussed, you know, who was recording the videos when their father wasn't. You know, oh, back up. They got an auntie. Her name is Moosey. Kind of like Gucci, but it's Moochie. Moochie, or Moosey. But I feel like Moosey is holding a lot of secrets for them, and I also think that she plays a big part on why the boys feel the way they do about themselves. I don't like her character at all, and it's very rare that I don't like aunties in books, because some of them are actually good. She's not a good one. I feel like when it comes to the boys and their mothers, where she should choose the boys, she chooses the mothers. But back to the rating. I gave it a 4 because I felt like there were a lot of unanswered questions as far as the father, what happened to Lake when he was younger. Then also, the unanswered questions doesn't take away from the story, because you still fall in love with these brothers and you still want to know what they're up to. But it was just things as a reader, like, I couldn't put together on my own, and I wish she hadn't answered them, but it's neither here nor there. The writing, let me tell y'all, when I read Front Street Porter the first time, I could not believe that this was somebody's first book. When I say she wrote her ass off, she wrote like she was a seasoned person in the writing game. Like, of course, there were small, I don't even think there were many grammatical errors in this book. And I think that more so just was conversation based on how the boys talk to each other. But the writing was on point. The storyline was thick like a big bitch. You fell in love with all the characters, all the brothers. It was an amazing story. Like, it was an amazing story. She really did her thing on this book. So if you've read Front Street Porter by Nina, hop in the comments below. Let's discuss it. Tell me what you did like. Tell me what you didn't like. This book is available on Amazon Kindle, and it's also available for purchase. I think Front Street Porter was like $9.99 or maybe $4.99, but it was reasonably priced, and it's worth it. It's very much worth it. So if you have time, check it out. Front Street Porter by Nina. Be sure to follow Brown Sugar Reads on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And that is all, folks.